welcome back to Cross Stitch the Globe. I'm Stephanie.
I'm Allison.
And this is a channel about cross stitch. So we have 3 types of videos on our channel. Today is a Flosstube episode that is a very deep dive into our personal stitching. We're gonna share what we worked on over the past 2 weeks, what we started, what we bought, what we're gonna start soon, all the stitch-alongs that we're a part of, all the stitch-alongs that I'm about to announce that I haven't even told you about.
Oh, really?
So these are really fun, and a lot of people do them. And if you're finding us, Allison's cat is...
He's being extra lovey today, so he'll be around.
If you're finding us through another type of video and you've never seen a Flosstube before, we'd love if you hung around and subscribed, and then also go check out some of the other Flosstubers we mentioned, because this type of video we certainly did not invent, and we were not even the 1000th type of person to do this type of video. There's so many good ones out there.
Yep.
In between these, we have what are called Flosstube Extras, which are like fun deep dives into specific topics. Next week's is going to be the second half of our WIT Parade, which is where we get out all of our current works in progress, even the ones we haven't touched recently, and show them off one by one. So that the first half was last week. The second half will be next week. We'd like to do, we just did like a free summer patterns video.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
We're about to record Most Expensive Cross Stitch Magazine. So if those types of things interest you, subscribe. And then on Thursdays, we come out with very basic beginner tutorials, mostly for people who buy patterns from our Etsy shop, because we're trying to create a library. So in the future, someone could stitch from A to Z one of those patterns just by looking up things in that playlist.
Because that's how you want it.
Yes, because that's literally how
that's
I
how she did it. So
she
knows how to break it down. Very yes.
Oh, Frankie. So if you're new, we'd love if you subscribed. And if you're not new, thank you so much for coming back. I feel like this week there were so many good Flosstubes and so many good WIT parades that if you're watching us, we feel very special. Mm-hmm. All right, let's dive in.
Yay!
Okay, so the first thing we like to do, although I am blinking a little bit, I don't know why, it's not like this isn't our 21st time that we've done this.
21, yeah.
Okay, so the first thing we like to do is thank people that mentioned us on their channel. They might have recommended us as a totality or a specific video. So first of all, and I texted you that this happened, but I haven't even really talked about it. So Crafty Gaming Jamie.
Oh yeah.
Who I love.
Yeah.
And who is just like a full coverage queen, bought my Game of Thrones pattern booklet that we'll talk more about later, that we talked about a lot on our last Flosstube, and started one and posted 2 videos where she posted a video where she kitted it up, another one where she started it, and then she had an update where she showed progress.
Oh my god.
Because she is also a huge and she's also stitching a giant Game of Thrones character face piece. So if you just like Game of Thrones stitching, definitely go check her out. But I've never, that was such a big compliment.
That's awesome.
And then Kylie.
That's so special because we love her.
I know. It's like,
if someone
but you're a real stitcher.
But you really do this.
And then Kylie from CCL Stitches also posted some really nice things about one of the patterns that she bought for me that she's working on, and it actually encouraged me to get my whip of that pattern out. And so I'll talk more about that later. But Kylie is I think she's a trauma nurse, either an ER nurse or a trauma nurse, and I don't know a ton about the nursing world, but in Philadelphia. And so she talked a lot about how that has affected her stitching on her last video, which was really interesting and a really good discussion, and I think would be really helpful for people balancing very challenging careers with a hobby intended to relax you. And then every project Kylie shows is oh, I have that, I want that, I have that, I want that. Oh, we're in the same Patreon. Oh, I want that too. 90% of her projects are things I want to stitch. So Kylie, thank you for stitching one of my patterns and so beautifully and talking about it, which is crazy. And then also showing other things that I then bought. Yeah. Thread Gremlins recommended our WIT Parade.
Oh, thanks.
And people have been talking about Thread Gremlins a lot lately. They're really funny and really sweet. They're 3 friends who all stitch, and they all stitch very different styles. We're talking, you might see a giant scary 80s clown, and then the next pattern might be Modern Folk Embroidery. So very fun. And I joked to them that they have a lot of chaotic mom energy, which I have a lot of chaotic mom energy. And I've told some other people some other floss tubes like, oh, I love your floss tube because you have chaotic mom energy. Like if you're balancing recording a floss tube with like children in the background and you're stitching with like little kids and stuff, it is very inspiring to me as someone who is balancing all that stuff. But also I find it very fun to watch other people balance their lives, because sometimes you just feel like, I didn't do that right, I gotta try again. And so it's fun to watch other people going through the same like part of life that I am going through. So I love them, they're funny no matter what. But also if you love some chaotic mom energy, go check them out. Apple Harvest Stitching, she's new. She just put out her 4th floss tube. I was watching her new one last night. Not in that one, but a couple of videos ago. She said she really liked watching this because we're sisters. And a lot of people say this, that like they have a sister who doesn't stitch and they wish they stitched. And we have a sister who doesn't stitch and we wish she stitched. We get this, but we also understand that emotion too.
Yeah.
But also Allison stitched for 6 years before I started. So there's always hope.
Oh yeah.
And it's not like
never give up.
She never tried to get me to stitch. I didn't live on this continent. So you just never know what's going to happen. But Apple Harvest Stitching, go check her out. She lives in Arizona and she started her last video with like, this is what the temperature is, which I really felt. It's hot here. We live in Oklahoma and it's hot here right now. The Shaky Stitcher recommended our free pattern video. I talked about her on our last video. She is new and she stitches a lot of like spooky and cute and fun patterns. So especially if you're like, I want to be stitching Halloween all year round, go check her out. Hobbies and Hyper Focus. So Pam has, first of all, she finished Tiger Lily.
Oh yeah.
Which if you haven't seen our most expensive patterns video, she stitched Tiger Lily. She bought it retail price like a long time ago. Stitched it with a green skin conversion, which is the most irreverent, cool, ballsy. Anyway, she showed her FFO of it on her most recent floss tube. And she mentioned us because she's talking about process versus project stitcher. And she always thought she was a project stitcher because she was a monogamous stitcher. Mm-hmm. And then she realized, like hearing us talk about like our experiences of each, that actually she is a process stitcher who was monogamous.
Oh.
And that is a more unusual probably type of stitcher. And she's not a monogamous stitcher anymore. And she really does like having multiple whips, but she doesn't have like a crazy amount of whips.
Yeah.
But go check her out. She went to Stitch North. She stitches a lot of fancy ladies. She stitched for a long time. Like, very cool. And then Stacy Creates Stuff. Okay. Her channel is really great. But I had to laugh because she saw our channel I think she watched our Mirabilia May video. And was like, oh, let me go look. And then did start a Mirabilia. And then she finished it.
Oh my God.
Which is like, I'm so happy for her. I'm so excited that we inspired her to do something crazy. But it is really crazy to be like, oh, there are 2 people, the next person too, who like have started and finished a Nora or a Mirabilia because they got introduced to it or inspired into the concept by like watching our videos. Maybe they knew about it, but like we're like, now they're like, okay, well I can do it.
Yeah.
Who then turn around and finish them. And almost to me that feels traitorous. Because
you will
because I will finish one in the future. So I'm so happy for you, Stacy. Congratulations. Go check out her last floss tube if you want to see her beautiful finished Mirabilia.
That's very impressive.
But I don't even know if I could monogamously stitch a Mirabilia in 1 month. There are a few that maybe, but I don't think if I was like May 1st, I'm going to finish this by May 31st beading and all, I don't think I could do it. So it's not just that like I don't have the attention span and I have a million projects, but also like I don't think that's something I could accomplish. Like I just don't think so. So
you stitch a lot.
Yeah, but
a
whole Mirabilia plus beading.
But think about how many you spread your stitches over.
But still, like I stitch about 15,000 stitches a month, and most Mirabilias are not that. Yeah. So that's impressive by under any.
Oh, it's very impressive.
And
it's
then
very impressive.
The last one I'll mention is Catherine Turnbull, who we mentioned before. She was like mostly a knitter with a little bit of floss tube and like was cross stitching a little bit. I think we got her because she did show her knitting whips and stuff, but I think she's a full cross stitcher now because guess what she did for Mirabilia May?
What?
She started a mirror every day.
Good for
Now,
you.
most of them are like free patterns and stuff. So go check out her last video. And most of them are free patterns, and it's towards the end of the video. So if you're like, I'm just here for the mirror stuff. She also finished Honora. So in the beginning of the video, she shows a finished Nora. At the end of the video, she shows a mirror start for every day of Mirabilia Bay. Many of them free, but not all. Lots of conversions, lots of size conversions, lots of color conversions. And also like that many starts, they're not gonna be like seen a lot, but.
That's very impressive.
Yeah. So again, I don't know why these people need to finish things. All right, so we have
Someday.
one day, and actually, we'll talk about it. Okay, and then I have a few people we want to congratulate and say happy birthday to. If you know of anyone that you want to say congratulations to, or a birthday shout out or anything, please DM us, because I just hear these when I'm watching Flosstube or scrolling Instagram. But I know there's people that I don't follow or that I missed a video or whatever, so don't hesitate to let me know. And you can DM me or Allison in our Instagrams. So Julie's stitching journey turned 1 year old. And anyone that's turning 1 year old right now means that I watched their first video like when it went live, because I started watching Flosstube last June. And so, yes, I started watching Flosstube last June.
Pretty much consistency then.
And then was like, I guess we need to start one immediately.
Yeah.
But anyway, so it's really exciting for me to be like, oh, I saw, if you're turning one now or from now on, I probably saw either your first or your second, like when it appeared.
Yeah.
And so that's exciting.
That's exciting.
The Globetrotting Stitcher turned 4 years old. Congratulations.
Oh, awesome.
And I've been subscribed to her for a while and never actually like checked in on one of the videos. I just watched her last video. So good. But she's not a monogamous stitcher, but she's almost monogamous in terms of just, you watch her.
Yeah, I watch her a lot.
So if you want to watch Flosstube, but like it stresses you out to see somebody pull out 20 projects, there are Flosstubes out there that only show 1, 2, or 3 whips, and it is just as fun and enjoyable because so much of Flosstube is the conversation around it and not just seeing the pattern. So if you're somebody who like, I love Allison Stephanie, but it totally stresses me out how many projects Stephanie pulls out, go check out the Globetrotting Stitcher. And Sarah Stitchery reached 5,000 subscribers.
Oh, that's wonderful. Queen. Yeah.
And she was at StitchCon, and you know, it was really fun to watch everyone's StitchCon adventures, but also was like total FOMO.
No, I haven't watched any because I don't want.
Because you don't want the FOMO? Okay, well.
But I will probably end up watching.
All right, KBH Stitches turned 1 year.
Hey, congratulations.
Karen from KBH Stitches. First of all, don't watch her channel if you don't want to buy a project bag. I think she jokes that I'm responsible for like some of her like hoop envy because I do the vintage hoops. Well, she's 1,000,000% responsible for many of the credit card charges that I have from different project bag makers. So, but her whip parade, if you haven't watched her whip parade, it was like in 2 or 3 parts. Go back and watch it. It is so good. She's been stitching for a really long time. She has great taste. And her stuff is
she stitches a lot of freebies too that I've never seen
I'm
before.
always learning about freebie like
from
destinations.
Her, yeah.
Yeah, because she stitches big projects, but she also stitches small. She's doing something this year called Pick It and Whip It, where her son picks a project bag for her, and she just stitches whatever's in that for the whole week. And then on Friday, she gets to start or work on a little small that's different. And I'm like, I actually might be. I'm considering. I don't think that's gonna be for next year, but like that's in like the pile of like, oh, that would be interesting.
Really?
We'll see. We'll see if I end up with 52 whips.
Oh, I believe you.
Another Oklahoma girl. Well, she's really a Texas girl, but she lives in Oklahoma. Stitch and Gem reached 1,500 subscribers, and if you go watch her last video, you're gonna have a lot of StitchCon FOMO.
Oh, okay.
It was really good.
Okay.
And a lot of.
Well, I'm happy she got to go. That's awesome.
It was also.
I just need a minute.
What was cool too
I
was that like it was her second time going.
Oh, okay.
So she and a lot of people it's their like second or third time, whatever. So it's fun to see like what people did for their first time and how they experienced it. And it's also fun like what people did as their second or third or fourth or whatever time. Like but also I think StitchCon is evolving and changing too.
Yeah.
And then Beck Stitches Everything reached 2,000 subscribers. Yay. And so Becca, congratulations. And then also guys, stay tuned for plans because Becca and I are starting a SAL. So I need another project.
Yes, you do. Okay, Stephanie.
But no, she and I both have the same thing, mostly kidded. So we're like, well, let's just start it.
You know what? You be you.
Yeah. So that will be it in plans. So congratulations, Becca. So everybody, congratulations. And then birthdays. Happy birthday to the Giddy Stitcher. Oh, my day one.
Happy birthday.
One of the first Flosstubes I ever watched.
One of the first ones, yeah.
I'm in her Ko-Fi membership. Elizabeth Ann can stitch. Caroline from Thread Gremlins. Sarah Stitchy Spot and Stitchy Money. And they're having a birthday sale called like Two Birthday Girls. I'll put the hashtag here. They're having a sale together. That's on a very cool, but like,
yeah,
I'm not ready for a level chart because they're like, you know, I think it's a hands across the sea. Oh. One day I know a couple of hands across the sea I would like to stitch. I'm not ready for them.
Okay.
But they're having a birthday sale together, which is so sweet because you love Sarah Stitchy. We both love Sarah Stitchy Bot, but you came to me and were like, this is my girl.
Yeah.
And I was like, have you seen Stitchy Bunny? And so the fact that they're together doing like a sal is so sweet. And then Javi Zafali, who is very sweet and just went on vacation in Hilton Head, which is one of my favorite places, and I was telling her how jealous I was. I've only been there for like a very short weekend, but it is really cool. Yeah. Do you remember when my son went on a pirate boat?
No.
Okay, well. All right, so Allison, do you have any FFOs?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Do you have any FFOs?
I don't, but you do.
I don't.
Yes, you do. If I can find it, it's in here. Where did I put it?
Oh, okay. Sure, I have an FFO. I totally forgot about that.
I know, because it was like the day after we filmed last time and you didn't FFO it yourself.
I didn't. Okay. Well, Stephanie did this lovely FFO.
So Allison,
I love this.
on our last Flosstube, Allison showed that she was almost but not quite done with the model she was stitching for me. And she really is like the best sister in the world. Because first of all, she stitched that whole thing in like 6 weeks. And then, but like, you know, the night we like met for Flosstube and then she had like 200 stitches left. She finished it, brought it to me before work the next day so that I could put it in the like cover photo and put the photo of it in my book, which I think the cover turned out really cool. So
it turned out really cool, yeah.
And then, but you haven't seen it.
No, I haven't seen it in person. This is great. Aww. I love it. This is such a cool frame.
Isn't it? It was a thrift store frame. It was either like $2, $3, or $4.
It looks amazing.
I love it because it's both like a Lancaster like gold and red, even though it's really a cherry wood. It like reads as reddish to me. But then also like you could be like, okay, well it's Targaryen red. But depending on which show you're watching. So this is a pattern that was like a model from the Cross Stitch of Ice and Fire booklet that I released last week, which is, if you're seeing this on the day this video comes out, it still has a 20% off sale.
It's so cool.
And so if you see it on Monday, the 17th, and you want to get the booklet, the Flosstube 20 code will still work today. So Allison stitched the whole thing, but this is the Medina Gate, which was used in season 1 for King's Landing, where Catelyn walked into, when Catelyn arrives at King's Landing, this is the gate she walked in. And it's in Malta. It's a location in Malta.
It's really pretty.
Oh, it's so good.
I mean, not to toot my own horn,
well, it's so funny too because like you see the
it's your picture.
Like if you just look at the blues up close, you're like, oh, it's so weird that you're stitching this much. Like this color blue looks so weird, and then you pull it away, and you're like, oh yeah, like it's a shadow. It's the right.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
But you did such a good job. Yeah. And the booklet is all photographs that I converted from filming locations of Game of Thrones. So if you're somebody who wants to like hide some Game of Thrones artwork in your house, but like your partner would not approve, like they would never know.
You would never know. I didn't even think of that. They would never know.
So anyway, Allison, thank you so much. I'm keeping this because she gave it to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you still at least you should get to appreciate and show off like your work.
Oh, you did a great job.
And I'll show you this. So I laced it myself. It's not a great lacing job, but it's good enough because it's just going to squish in the frame. But last time we talked about how you didn't know if the gridded, pre-gridded Ada would wash off. So this was a gridded Ada that she stitched on, and then I put boiling water on it, and you can really see that it really is gone. So if you're doing something on a gridded Ada, where there's going to be a little bit of white showing, but not, I wouldn't do it if I was going to have a lot showing, because I don't really want a lot of white Ada showing on anything, but I have some. But if you want to do it on gridded Ada and not have it show, but have a little bit show and not have to fill in everything, it really does boil right off. And that's that easy grid Ada. I'll put a link.
I love easy
in
grid for full coverage.
Put a link in the description to it. That if it's an Amazon link, it'll be an affiliate link. If it's any other kind of link, it won't. I don't remember where I bought it from.
I think I got mine on Etsy.
I have bought some on Etsy and I bought some on Amazon.
Oh no, I got it at Cecilia's Samplers.
Oh
yeah.
So, congratulations and thank you for my present.
Thank you.
All right.
Do you have any FFOs?
No, I just FFO'd yours.
Okay.
And I didn't want to show it until we got here.
Okay.
It's the funnest thing is like bringing something out of my basket that you've never seen, especially because like there are some things I would like to hide and show you like on camera that are like this big and I can't. So when I can get away with something, that's fun.
That was fun.
All right. Do you have any finishes?
Okay. I do not have a finish.
Okay. I don't have any finishes.
Okay.
All right. No, I don't have any finishes.
No finishes?
No.
Okay.
Do you have any new starts?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I have a new start, and it's a SAL. Okay.
And this is Allison. This is so Allison showed this on Instagram, and everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, she did such a good job because she dyed this fabric herself, and she did a perfect job with the color she was trying to get.
This is the color I wanted.
Like the color is beautiful regardless, but also her first time she dyed fabric, she achieved the color she wanted.
I know, it was kind of a miracle because I didn't do a test dye.
You just were like, whatever it is what it's, yeah, that's very you.
I know, isn't it? It's just how I
roll.
roll.
Also, like a test dye.
But how great is it that it's
so good.
The perfect color?
Because she was trying to color match her curtains, which you can't see.
You can't see, well.
There is you know what's funny? There is a picture on your Instagram of the curtain. Oh, yeah. So she was trying to color match this red, and you nailed it.
I think I did too. Look at that. That's pretty good.
That's really good. You nailed it. Because she wants it to be able to go in here really well.
Yeah, I wanted it on that wall over there. Where my husband's going to have to come down. I'm going to put my Modern Folk Embroidery goes up.
You got so much. It's so good. Okay, so
don't
tell
look
us
too
about...
closely.
Why? Is something coming out?
This little birdie's side is coming out.
Oh, well, that's...
Not a lot. Not a lot.
Oh my gosh, Allison. I'm obsessed with this.
I know, isn't it great?
Look at the colors.
It's going to look so
Oh my
good.
God.
So it's just ecru and 334 DMC.
Because she just floss matched to her curtains.
Yeah, since I just wanted it to look like that. This is Fruits of Plenty. So me and Fanny from Soul Stitchers,
who's Cross Stitch Couture on Instagram.
Decided to start this together. And her colors are so beautiful.
Oh, I haven't seen her colors yet.
Oh, should I run it? No, she's doing it.
You guys can see it on
Go
her
see it on her Flosstube
or on her Instagram.
I think it's on her Instagram, but I won't run it. But they're gorgeous.
And I might have seen it, but I might have seen it in the middle of the night or something where like
it probably was the middle of the night since she
lives in France. Yeah.
So we do a lot of our talking at odd times of the day.
Which is why it really works for you.
Yeah.
Because you'll be like, well, it's 7 a.m. here, and before I go to work, who can I call? Oh, I'll call France. I'll call France.
France is awake already, so no big deal. So the SAL, we're using the hashtag still fresh fruit,
which is
crisscross stitch, or it's Chris X Stitch. And then there's also one for this SAL just called Fruits of Plenty SAL.
Oh.
But I think that's the one that's run by Jacob from Modern Folk Embroidery.
Because I got confused at the beginning.
But I think that's it.
I think still fresh fruit is such a funny.
It is the best.
Because also like, okay.
It's just the best.
Jacob's like Modern Folk Embroidery, they're like year-long stitch-alongs. They're all really pretty. There is something about the Fruits of Plenty that is just like, oh my God.
Classic.
Just a 20 count white Ada?
No, this is 18 count white Ada.
Oh, because it would have been the same size on 20 or 18?
It would have been a little bit bigger on 16 and a little bit smaller on 20.
Oh no, I guess I meant fabric cut.
Oh.
Yes, that's how
it works, Stephanie.
I'm so proud of you. That's so good.
Thank you. I think it's going to look amazing. I can't
if
wait.
you guys listen to our process versus product stitcher, when Allison was like, oh, I would love to do like that, but I don't think it could. And it's like, and then she's just like, oh, well, yeah, I guess I'll just do it.
Well, I didn't know. I couldn't wrap my head around what would look good in this room, this very gray, plain room.
Yeah.
And then I was like, you know what I love about my living room? My curtains.
It's really good.
I really love my curtains. And so that's working.
Yay.
Okay. That was my only start.
Oh, okay.
Do you have any starts?
I have 3. I did.
Who's shocked?
I did tell you
really?
guys I was gonna have 2, but I did have 3. Okay. So first of all, Allison and I and Julian Stitches are hosting the Fab 4 Fan Sal, and we are. Julie and I are gonna stitch all 6. I don't know if you've committed to all 6.
I have not committed to all,
but at least committed to 1.
I'm doing 1, and then we'll
of
see.
the Magical Mystery Tour patterns from Blackbird Designs, which are like all inspired by Beatles songs. And I have already finished Yellow Submarine. I've started Strawberry Fields, and then this is my start for Blackbird by Blackbird Designs.
I love this one.
And I'm doing it on 40 count. After in our whip parade I said I shouldn't have any more 40 count projects. I am starting multiple additional 40 count projects, but whatever.
But look how tiny
But
it
this chart is
is.
really only has like 2,000 stitches. So I think this will be a good one to like feel like, oh, I feel like I'll be able to finish it and then feel like I finished, you know?
Did it.
And Rachel from Licking Floss and I both decided to start. So even though we've got this like ongoing style for it, Rachel and I still were like, sometimes you just still also need like okay, but like, what am I really gonna do? So Rachel was like, do you want to start Blackbird together? And I was like, absolutely. And she got way further than me. No one's shocked, but this is a really small chart. So, and Rachel is a little bit more of a responsible stitcher and has not no whips, but has way fewer whips than me, and is really good about rotating through them and getting progress on all of them. And she's a fun person to do a stitch along with, and we're gonna start something else together later this summer. And because she both like makes progress and keeps going, but also doesn't go so fast that she finishes and like leaves her in the dust either. Like she might leave me in the dust on this one because this is such a small chart, but like in general, it's like you really do feel like you can kind of like go like this, but you're not
jogging together.
Yeah, but it's not like in 5 years she'll be like, well, I finished it 2 days after, and I'll still be working on this one maybe, but like the bigger ones no.
Yeah.
And she is like another chaotic mom energy Flosstuber that I love watching because she'll be like, the kids are in the background, they're fine, which I love because it's just like that is real life. And I love seeing how people fit in their stitching and their floss tubes into real life and not like the life we wish, you know, like it's like, no, we're not fitting this into our perfect life. We're fitting this into our real lives. So anyway, this is Blackbird. Today is crazy. Okay, so this is on 40 count Gold Rush by Miss Stitch Me. This was a fabric of the month a few months ago, maybe for March, and it was the last one I got before I was like, I have too much fabric, I can't be in this club anymore. But it's so
really
pretty,
good.
and so I'm really happy that it's a special chart, even though it's like, it felt weird to cut this like big fat quarter down just to get this little, but I know this is gonna be like, I want all 6 of these charts in my home, so I know like no matter what, it will get more love on this fabric than this fabric would get sitting in a project bag for a fat quarter project that will take 20 years, you know? So, and I'm stitching it with the call for, which is Espresso Bean by Gentle Arts. And funny enough, I ordered 2 skeins of that for this, but now that I'm stitching on 40, I should have some extra. I only ordered 1 skein of it for my Una Owl that I'll show, and I'm running out. So if doing this on 40 count, besides the fact that it's the perfect color for what my vision,
I like it.
Also means I can take the extra and put it into Una Owl and not have to like get more or figure out a substitute. Like where could I, like it'll just be, they'll both work out.
Yeah.
Because they'll both need about 1.5 skeins. But this border is really easy. Can you believe it? Like I'm halfway down the border.
That's awesome.
This chart is so small, and then doing it on 40 count is so small.
It's so
I think it's I'm not 100%, but I think it's charted for 30, but I don't remember. And I'm loving this chart so much that I decided I'm not going to work on Strawberry Fields forever this month, even though it's the Strawberry Moon Sal, because something else that I'm planning on starting on.
You didn't hand this to me, that's why it's all wrinkly.
Oh, I didn't make any progress on it.
Oh, okay.
I just pulled it out because I want to show you.
Oh,
this.
I was like, you're making me look bad.
I'll show you. But I have another whip that I'm going to start on the solstice that has strawberries in it, so that's going to be my Strawberry Moon Sal.
Which one?
I haven't told you. No, I kind of told it. I got a lot of things happened. Anyway, but so I have showed you guys many times that there was a tiny little stain.
Oh, yeah.
I think the tie pin got it out. Or another tie pin, it was a tie wipe or whatever.
Yeah, it's totally gone.
So if you guys have seen it before, there was a little stain here and it did come out. So, but I want to put all of my time that I spend on this sal for the month of June, I'm going to put it into that because I'm loving it.
Okay.
I only got 120 stitches in it, but
it's really cute.
Oh, and another thing you'll be proud of me about. So you see this hoop. It looks like a Duchess. I don't think it actually is technically. No, it is. It is. It's a Duchess hoop. So this is the one that had that little thing on it. I started cutting off the like wrappings and other things that other previous stitchers had put on to make it tight. Mm-hmm. And actually this one is fine without it.
Okay.
But I got out a roll of washi tape that I just been leaving by my stitchy spot. And every time I pull out one that has like somebody else's tape on it or whatever, I'm taking it off and Lysoling the whole hoop, and then
I am so proud.
So you don't have to worry about that grandma hoop anymore.
I am so proud of you because that was truly disgusting.
And both these projects, because
Did someone say something about it?
No.
Oh, okay.
I bought.
Like, I'm teasing you if you want it.
I have some in haul that I got that were like a little bit more broken than I normally would get, and I'll talk about that. Because they're just like a really good deal.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, I have to do that for these anyway because these need to be fully. And so I was like, well, once I start doing it, I should just keep this stuff out and just do all of them as they pull them out.
Yeah. Oh, that makes sense.
And then there are a few that I have that didn't need that, but were still a little loose. I was like, let me just keep the washi tape here and get these all.
Yeah.
So this was in the strawberry bag by Kathy's Posies because I'm just going to keep all my Fab 4 fan sale stuff in this bag.
So cute.
All right. That was, oh my gosh, this video. Okay, that was new start number 1. New start number 2, I told you guys I was buying. This is Coastal Cola by Silver Creek Samplers. So what happened? See, what happened was Joy from the Carolina Stitchers showed this. Now, I know I was watching Joy and the Carolina Stitchers last summer because I distinctly remember watching them the night I was packing for my trip to Mexico, which was in August. So I might have seen this chart last summer and not realized it. But when she showed it this time, I became manically obsessed with it to the point where I matched my shirt for today to this chart.
Hey, I didn't realize you were matching.
I'm a big Diet Coke drinker, and I actually don't approve of drinking out of glass or fountains. I only want a room temperature can of Diet Coke.
Has to be a can.
That's the only thing I like to drink. Now, partially it has to do with the fact that I have some like a throat situation happening. But anyway, so Joy showed this chart. I became maniacally obsessed with it, bought it. Look, I'm using our needle minder that we made. So we made this needle minder in our like how to make needle minders from like pins and things where you have to drill things off the back. Anyway, so became obsessed with this chart, ordered it. Now, a couple changes. This is Blue Whisper, 32 count Blue Whisper, which is the called for. A couple of the call for flosses they were out of. And the call for that's that red pink is a brand I don't really love stitching with. So I subbed it for autumn. Now, to me, I think it's giving a little more orange when you look at it up close. But when the whole thing is together, I think it gives like those old Coca-Cola spray paint or murals that have been like worn, faded.
It does look faded,
and I really like that. But if you want it to be redder, you can find a more redder. You can either go. I don't know if the called for. So I got what I thought matched the called for online, but it's hard to tell. But you could always find a variegated that is more Coca-Cola red and not faded looking. But I love the faded look.
Yeah,
so
it looks great.
If that is turning you off the chart, like get a redder.
Yeah,
like. Get one that's more red and cream, or look at the called for, but I still think I matched the called for as close as I could. And then one of the called fors they were out of, and so I had to sub one of the Gentle Arts for this Classic Colorworks Chesapeake Bay. I don't know, so my colors are close to the called for, but between the subs and the what they were out of, they're a little bit different. And then this shirt has some DMC, and I actually got stuck because I don't have the DMC I need next.
Oh, what do you have? What do you want? I got a whole
3820, and I used the DMC to DMC converter, and I didn't have any of the converted DMCs either. I'm like, do I just not have gold, like yellows? Like,
I have a lot of gold yellows.
So I do want to look through and see if the 2 DMC that I'm missing, if you have them because if I step into a craft store to buy 2 DMC, I'm going to spend $100. So I need to.
I feel the same way.
I love this chart. Thank you so much to Joy and the Carolina Stitchers for showing this chart. This chart gives, first of all, this chart looks just like I want summer to be. Obviously can, but stitching a bottle is much cuter.
Yeah.
And then it looks a lot like the place where we go to see our family in Texas, but then it also is giving, Carolina, Georgia, like northern Florida vibes, and I've been to vacation in those places a lot. Like I've been to Hilton Head. I used to go with my friends to the Outer Banks every year. So like this chart is just like, when I think of relaxing on the beach, this chart is just like it. And I'm obsessed with it. And I might even stitch it multiple times. Because I was thinking, well, maybe I'll just stitch it for our aunt who lives.
She would love it.
And maybe I'll just stitch, it's like, I might stitch this every summer.
Yeah.
But this, I'm stitching it with a hoop that I bought. So I'll talk about it more in haul, the bundle of hoops that I found. But this is a probably 6-inch princess hoop. But it had like it really needed, it was like coming apart here. So this is why I fixed.
Gotcha.
I got started on fixing them. And it lives in this Amazon project bag. I thought the yellow matched the yellow that I don't have. Not really, not like shade wise, but just like it matched that sunny, beachy vibe. And I'm obsessed. Okay. Now, last Flosstube episode, I mentioned that Memphis Sarah E, who's the coolest, had just finished touching the autumn sky, and that was my unicorn chart, and I kind of opined about how like I would never spend the money on it, and I wouldn't ask someone to borrow it because like you really got to know someone. The only person I've ever asked to borrow a chart from was you, and I don't even think I asked. I think you were just like, okay, well now you take this chart and you stitch Cornelius next, and I haven't yet. Anyway, so a Flosstube friend messaged me and said, hey, I have this chart. If you would like to stitch it, you don't have to worry about getting it back to me for 5 years. Like, don't stitch it at your leisure. I'm not gonna stitch it, but I have it and I bought it when it came out, and I know it's worth a lot of money, but I'd rather you stitch it, and then if something happens to it, I'm not gonna get upset about it. Just send it back to me when you're done. But if like your house burns down, I'm not gonna like come find you. And I couldn't believe it. I was just like, cause like this is not a person that I've like interacted with much other than like just like little like comments and stuff. So just like such a generous offer. And I did ask her if she wanted me to say her name, or if we wanted to make sure that she didn't get bombarded with like, do you have this vintage Mirabilia? Can I get next in line or anything? So we settled on my special Flosstube friend. So she mailed it to me, and it got here on Tuesday, and I started it on Tuesday. So this is Touching the Autumn Sky by Mirabilia.
So beautiful.
If you watched our most expensive patterns video, you know that there's a reason I didn't want to buy it. And it's crazy that when we did that video, and now we're both stitching something.
I know.
Which just shows the power of seeing things over and over and over again and knowing you can't have them. And then you're just like, well, now I got it anyway. But I just love this chart. It's not like, I don't know of any other Mirabilia that's like this, whereas there are some that are expensive that there are things out there that are similar. She doesn't really have anything that's like this. And this, especially this exact style, it's a little bit different than her other things.
Yeah,
it came out in 97. It's Mirabilia Designs number 33. And I just love it. Other people are currently stitching it. You see her on Flosstube. Even though it's like an expensive chart, it's not like a chart nobody stitches. People do stitch her. Especially because when somebody buys an expensive chart, they tend to stitch it so that they can pass the chart. And so it ends up being a situation where you see people stitching them a little bit faster than maybe they would stitch something else. Mm-hmm. It only has DMC and a few beads, and it's only 180 by 170. So it's pretty small for Mirabilia. It doesn't have that many colors, so it only has that many colors.
Oh, wow.
And it has some beads, but only one kind of beads and not a lot. So because I didn't buy the chart, I borrowed the chart, and because I have only so far kitted it from stash, so the only DMC that I've pulled so far are DMC that I already owned. And I'm gonna show you, I'm stitching it on a fabric that was a gift and a hoop that was from the thrift store. So even though this is one of the most expensive patterns that I will ever stitch, I was like, let me theme it and I'm even doing it in a project bag that I've used for multiple other projects before that are finished. So let me do this in the most economical way possible, kind of for fun.
That's fun.
So I do need to buy the beads, but I'm not.
Well, ask me. I've bought a lot of beads recently.
Do you have these? Yeah.
Yeah.
But look how, I don't know, this is not all the colors, but like, how fall is that palette? Now I know you're like, it's summer, why do you want to start fall? Well, because even though she told me I had a long time, I don't want to like, take
Also, if it's your unicorn.
too long. But also, yeah, like, it's like, I wanted to start it that day.
Yeah.
This is the hoop that I got in that $5 thrift store haul. Cleaned up and washi taped up, but this is a Gibbs Co hoop. These do go for like 20 bucks. I saw them go for between $20 and $25, and I got it for $5 at the thrift store, so you just never know what's out there. But anyway, so I wanted to start it that day. And I showed a sneak peek of it on Instagram and was like, surprise start, does anyone know what this is? And a couple of people did, because it's very, like, if you know it, you know it.
Oh, yeah. I had people message me. I know what it is. Beautiful. I'm not going to touch it.
But I'm thinking, like, okay, so yes, doesn't feel like fall now, but if I work on it every day, if I do like a daily, I'm going to work on it every day. I don't know if I'm going to do a daily 100 or a daily 30 or a 25/7 or a 27. Like, I'm just going to like work on it every day, and I might change systems or whatever. So far, I've done 5 days of 100 stitches a day. So this already has a few more stitches than any of my Mirabilia starts.
Really?
So this has 550. Look at those colors.
Really pretty.
So that is, I started up here. So that is to like starting the swing. And there's one color that's in this side that I don't have. But again, I'm just not walking into a craft store at the moment. When I can keep going without it. The other chart, it's like I kind of need the one I'm stalled on, but this one I can keep going. But I love it. So I'm stitching it on a 32 count fabric that was from a gift from Katie, the Peacock Stitcher. And I figured that would make this piece even more special.
Yeah, lots of friends.
Like if it's like just generosity and like fun and like, but I asked her if she knew what it was. Now this is it's definitely a printed fabric. And if you look at this fabric that I stitched this on, I think these are both 32 count Vintage Whisper by Zweigart.
No.
You don't think that's what that is?
Nope.
This is definitely printed, and Katie doesn't have any record of exactly what it would be.
Those are not the same color.
And I think they're the same, but I also...
They might be the same count. They're not the same color.
I've been looking at them only also in my apartment, so it's hard for me to tell colors in my apartment.
Yeah.
But she doesn't know exactly what it would be, but it's definitely printed.
Yeah.
So we don't know the exact fabric, but it just needs to be like a light blue sky. Like there's no...
It looks great.
I don't remember what the called for fabric is Sky Blue Linen by Perman, furnished by Widgel, which is or alternative Zweigart Belfast 32 count Misty Blue, but neither of those are printed, so I don't know what this is.
I'm not sure.
And
it's pretty though.
Katie doesn't know. She just knows she bought a bunch of 32 counts at the same time, and it's so funny because this is the one that didn't have a tag, and everything else has a tag of where it came from. But I don't really care because it's neither here nor there. It's like if you're stitching this, you just get like a kind of light blue, skyish, white modeling or no.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with it. So I already showed you, but it lives in my Kathy's Posies bag, which if you were here for the pumpkin carriage whip, you saw a lot. And I think the colors go so good. I do. I am one of those people that likes to match my project bags to my projects. I know some people think it's silly and some people think it's fun. I like it. And I will like move a whip. If I am like, oh, well, this whip needs to be, I will move them. But it's all fun.
I feel like that's fun.
All right. So part of why I wanted to bring the chart is just to show you like the chart is here. It's in my possession. However, I will not be carting it over to Allison's house. Like this is going to go, now that you've seen it, like physically it exists. Somebody didn't just send me a PDF and I just like was like, no, the chart's here, but I'm going to put it in a safe place so that it does not get damaged because I do want to return it to my Flosstube friend when this piece is done. And this is a relatively small piece. I think it's about 17,000 stitches. So it wouldn't, if I do it 100 stitches a day or 30 minutes a day or whatever, I might finish it this year.
I think so.
And then also it's a good chart for like small chunks of stitching because you change colors a lot. like Mirabilias have like blocks of color, but this one's smaller, so the blocks are smaller, so I'm changing colors a lot. And that can be kind of annoying over 3 hours, but in 30 minutes, 1 or 2 color changes is like
No big
fine.
deal. Yeah.
So it's actually a really good chart for this approach. And if I can stick to this approach, then I might just have a daily Mirabilia, just like Janet Jabber has one, which I think would be good for me.
Yeah.
But just to like be touching them.
I can't keep to any kind of schedule.
I know.
I really don't want to.
I have switched up my schedules, but I can keep a schedule going for a little while.
Yeah.
But I'm really hoping that because of the added incentive of fall's coming, I want to stitch this in fall. I'd love to finish it in this year. And if I stitch it 100 stitches a day, I might be able to get this. And then like towards the end, like turn it on. It could be a 2024 finish.
Yeah.
And then also like it only has one kind of bead.
Yeah.
So like it'd be a good first beading mirror. But like there's a lot of things about it that would be great. But if I get burnt out on it and I need to take a break, I don't have the pressure of like, oh, I need to get this back by like tomorrow or something.
Yeah.
Those are my starts.
Yay!
I'm so excited. I have a lot more starts coming in the future, so.
I can't wait to hear these. I'm
All right.
very excited.
What are your whips, Sissy?
Okay. I have a cat on my lap. I'm incapacitated. It's my favorite joke. Okay. This is
Allison's.
we're gonna go
pattern
straight to my Mirabilia. So this is Lady of the Flag.
Oh, she's looking so
She's
good.
got a head. Yay! She's got a head, and now she's got flowers. This is
The flowers look so good too.
I know, they look great. I realized today that I don't have what I need to backstitch her face, or else you could have seen her face.
I would save the back stitching. I don't save the back stitches as I go, but I will not
save
be.
it till the end.
Yeah.
This is on Prehistoric. It's a Forbidden Fiber Co. Fabric.
It's so good. Cat break. Okay.
Okay, sorry, my cat's insane.
So what count is this?
Okay, this is a 16 count. They recommend a 14 count for beading, or
when it's over dyed like this.
Yeah, when it's over dyed, and I didn't measure it. So I'm hoping the beads
I bet they'll fit.
I'm hoping it didn't really shrink the holes.
It's definitely not as small as a. I don't know.
We will find out. And there is a stain, and I don't know what it is. But do you see that right above her head?
Yeah, I did see that, but I was hoping it was modeling.
No, it's not. I don't know what it is.
Tie pin.
Yeah, tight pen.
Beautiful.
I know. Yay.
Allison's goal is to have that done by the end of the year.
Yeah.
Maybe in November, for November, if we're both like really on target, we like finish them together.
That'd be great. We'll see.
And do some
I think
beading
I'm doing-
together. You have a lot more beading to do than I do.
It's a good pace, though, right?
Yeah, you're doing great.
Yeah. I don't remember when I started.
Also, that dress is going to be so much chunky block stitching.
It is, and the flag is too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make my way over. I'm gonna finish her, and then the flag comes right here. And I like that I'm gonna be stitching it probably on the 4th of July.
Oh, that's cute. Laura Stitches showed her blue conversion update yesterday. It's so pretty.
The blue is good.
They're all good.
Well, if I didn't do the gold, I was gonna do the blue. Okay, my next whip. Actually, I worked on quite a few things.
Oh.
Yeah. For me. Okay, my next whip is another Mirabilia. This is Mia Mermaid.
I also went from I don't like any Mirabilias to I guess I like one of the most expensive ones.
And the free whip.
To also, let me just stitch a bunch.
So, well, I wanted to start her because I saw it.
It's so pretty.
And it happened to be Mirabilia May, and I was like, I better.
So you basically have to.
Better start it now. So that's what I'm doing. These are not the called for colors.
And this is also
I
on a printed
just
Ada
converted
from
it.
Katie the Peacock Sitter.
Yes, it is.
Or printed fabric from Katie the Peacock
From
Sitter.
Katie. Thank you so much, Katie. Isn't it the perfect color for a mermaid?
It's really good.
It's so under the sea. I love it.
And it's also a very specific kind of sea, like a warm,
Yeah.
like fancy lady sea.
It's definitely a fancy
Like-
lady sea.
There's cold seas and warm seas. This is a warm sea.
So her, instead of getting fancy floss and stuff. I just did that in satin. Don't recommend it. It's not fun to work with, but it does in person. I like it. It's shiny.
So every time we complain that we don't like something, some really kind stitcher will come along and give us some great tips.
Yeah.
So Allison and I are not going to be converted into loving satin, but we know there are some people who like it, and we've gotten some really great tips on like how to use it.
Actually, Katie told me a little bit of beeswax.
Yeah.
To help on the end so that it doesn't fray.
Did you already have beeswax?
And she said that with chronic too. I do not have it. I haven't tried it because I had already done.
I have two
this.
things of it, so I'll give you one.
Okay. I had already done this, and I don't think there's any more.
I bought one, and then I think I have two.
Okay.
I don't remember exactly why. But.
Okay. I think this is 16 count.
She's looking good.
I think so too.
And you're just going to beat her with beads on hand.
I'm just going to do whatever beads I have, and I'm just doing any colors that are close. It's a free pattern.
It's fine.
It's all good.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
It's going to be fantastic. I'm enjoying that one so much. Okay, and two more. My next one. This is Garden of Zig. This was for the secret SAL that the Hathaway Stitchers hosted.
And their video with all the reveals isn't out yet, so
okay,
it will be out soon.
Excellent. And then you can see all of the
Laura
conversions.
Laura from Stitching by the Shore showed hers on her last video, and Jen's Fiberweb showed hers.
That's the one I saw hers.
Because like obviously you could go look up a bunch of people's Instagrams, but if you want to see it on video on YouTube, Jen's Fiberweb, Stitching by the Shore. Who else has shown theirs on there? Oh, Hathaway Stitchers showed theirs. And then the Hathaway Stitchers are going to have a video where all of the Zoom where we all showed ours, and then all the people who couldn't make the Zoom but still did one are all in the same video.
Yeah. So this is a little bit further than I was at the end of the SAL. It ended on May 31st. So I did a little bit more since then.
I love it.
But I'm determined to finish it soon.
It's going to be so good at the State Fair.
Well, I know. I can't get this far and not just... I didn't meet my deadline, which is really bothering me. This is the color conversion I call Zig in Space. This is Mystic, I think, by... I never remember.
Picture this plus.
Is that it? Are you sure?
I think.
Okay.
I'll put it down below if it's not.
It's 16 count, I know that.
It's really pretty.
Thank you. And it's just...
I'm so excited for when you finish it.
Me too.
This is Cinderella.
Yep. This is Cinderella. The designer is the Little Stitcher. It's on 18 count Rustico and it's called for DMC.
It's so pretty.
I need to fix the shoe.
Blue.
There's a shoe in that corner that it's ghosting.
Yeah.
You know,
okay, you could...
It's so hard to do clear shoes on fabric.
You could do, you know how we talked about like a lot of different methods?
Yeah.
You could try one of the ones on this and see if it works before you commit to the other. Yeah. Allison has a white shoe problem on two
different Cinderellas. But if you think about it, it's a clear shoe, so this works.
Yeah.
Because you can't see it. Get it? Because it's clear. It's fine. I'll fix it.
It's really good.
I'll figure out how to fix it.
This is one of the whips that Allison had in the whip parade where I forgot to go back in and add, because I had two written down where like I had to make the thing and I hadn't the timestamps written down, but I'd never done that before, so I forgot to put it in. So if you didn't see this before, the finished one, here it is.
This is it.
And this pattern was a gift?
Yes, it was a gift from Fanny from Cross Stitch Couture. That's her Instagram handle. Or the Soul Stitchers. It's her Flosstube. She's so sweet. She's so sweet.
Oh, I didn't realize it was a little mouse.
There's a little mouse and a little pumpkin.
That's so cute.
Yeah, it's adorable. I really like working on this. Like this color, this blue color,
that blue is so pretty.
It's just so fun to work on. I just love staring at it. It's all going good. So that, and then I forgot to show this, but I'll show it later.
In kindness? Yeah. Okay. Is that all your whips?
Those are my whips.
For my whips. So because I was working on the models for that booklet and a little bit before, I kind of gotten backtracked on WhipGo. And so I had two issues. One was there were just whips that I love that I was behind on, and I knew I wanted to catch up because for my WhipGo board, WhipGo is like a whip work in progress bingo game. It's run by and hosted by Jessie Marie Does Stuff. She posts the numbers on her channel and in her Facebook group for it, and it's really fun. And I made a board, but I got behind, and one of the issues was I was just behind. But because it's your board, your rules, my rule for myself for the year was each call was 1,300 stitches, had to be done by the end of the year. So if I got behind, I wouldn't like feel like I had to quit. Some people do like have ones where they're like only doing like Will the Woman Crafts has a WIPCO board where it's like finishes, like FFOs, and somebody has one where it's like crafts that aren't cross stitched that they've always wanted to try. You can literally put anything on them. But so I am behind, so I have 2 calls for this. Both my calls for June I have here, but I also need to get caught up. So I got caught up on a WIPCO call for coffee and eggs. So I did 1,300 stitches on coffee and eggs. I did it in a day and a half.
Ooh.
Because so much of it was like this egg, which is so easy, and these flowers, are the leaves, are a lot of stop and start, but they are the same pattern. So once you know the pattern, it's annoying to stop and start, but it's essentially like fill-in.
Yeah.
And then this coffee mug has so much fill-in. So so last time you saw it, the egg was down to here. There were only 3 sets of leaves, and there was nothing up here. So I did a lot. So I got that WIPCO call done. Yay. And this is on 28 count big clay by Fox and Rabbit. Big clay is the called for fabric, but 28 count is not the called for count. So mine is a little bit bigger, but I like that about it. Yeah. And I started it last September. So this is one of the first things I started on linen. And I've obviously started a lot of other things on linen, and I finished things on linen. But it's funny because I can still see some of my earliest mistakes in this piece, but I love it no matter what.
Oh,
but
absolutely.
And I don't think my stitches look bad, but I know like it is so funny to pick it up and be like, oh, this is so much easier than it felt in the beginning. You know, like every time I've checked in on it like a month later or whatever, I'm such a better stitcher that it's like, yeah. So anyway, so I'm 60% done. Nice. Everything in this area is done. Then I got to do the chicken, the branch with the rainbow, the 2 giant eggs, and a row of butterflies. So even though
still got quite a bit.
I told you, yeah. I'm only 60% done.
Okay.
But I have 4,000 stitches left.
Yeah. I
have one more 1,300 stitch WIPCO call on it. So I'm thinking if I swap one of July's WIPCO calls for this instead, and then do whatever gets called when this would have gotten called, that would get me down to 2,700 stitches. And 2,700 stitches is totally something I can accomplish. Yeah. So I feel like if I got this done by like August 10th, I would have time to get it framed for the state fair. Okay. Because I do want to get it professionally framed.
You should make it a goal. You should do that.
And it's, now we have talked about like, this is one of my favorite charts. If this was out of print, it would be my unicorn chart. This is something that I want my entire personality to be based on. Like, I'm obsessed with this chart, and I will be very sad when it is done. So having a goal like putting it in the state fair feels like a reason to finish it, as opposed to like, I could work on this 100 stitches a month for 20 years. For 3.5 years. And then one day you have to be done. But so I feel like that will actually get me emotionally like over the fact that like I love her. I love pulling her out.
Are you showing this one?
Yeah. So this is
okay.
Okay. So because like when I decided that I didn't want to show a bunch of models. So when I'm stitching, this is my own chart, but anything that's already released in the shop, if you like really loved it, you wanted like, it's already released. So this is Portugal #1 Pena Palace, and it is already for sale in our Etsy shop. But I started, it's the size of chart where I don't have to do a model for it to know that it's like, cause it's so big. But what I decided was on WIPCO, I had another one of my charts, and I talked about this more at length in our WIPCO board, and I'm gonna film another video where I talk about this more, so I don't want to go into it too much. But anyway, basically I decided to swap out that chart for this chart on my WIPCO board because I'm way more excited to work on this one, and that way I'm not like stalled on. So I took out the Turkish shop for my WIPCO board and I replaced it with this. And so I did 277, I did 300 stitches, and that got me to a finish of one of my 3 WIPCO calls. Because this chart has already been, it's on my WIPCO board 3 times, and it's already been called 3 times.
That's funny.
So I was really behind, but like 3 of them were trying to decide what to do about that chart. It's like, let me just work on this chart that I'm really excited about, and I want to get it done because I started this as part of your birthday SAL. I want to get it done. So I hit 20% finished.
Yay.
And I was listening to podcasts about the summer house reunion while I was stitching this. So it's got some weird vibes. But I basically realized I was over here trying to outline some different sky sections so that I could do those as fill-in later. And I realized there's a mistake. And the only place I could figure out 100% that I knew was exactly perfectly in the right place was this stitch right here. Because it's like, it's not gridded. So it's like, I can't really figure out, you know. So I started doing this down, and then that got me to the roof, and then I could go back in and count, okay, exactly where things go. So I'm not gonna fix every mistake I find, but I want to kind of make better notes about where they are so I can work around them.
Yeah.
So the 300 stitches closed out a Whipco call for February, and then this is also a Whipco call for June. So it's gonna get another 1,300, which is why I thought outlining some of the places where I'm gonna need fill-in would be great, because that would be great for getting this done this month. But then when I found the mistakes, I was like, well, let me figure this roof out. So I'd like to figure out the roof. And then once I figure out the roof, then I can get back into the sky, because I'll know like where the problems in the sky are. Mm-hmm. Because if there's a blue or a purple in the wrong space, it's kind of fine. But if it forces the building to get weird, so the building needs to be perfect. This is based on a chart from a palace in Portugal that is beautiful, and I love it. Yay. And it was Kylie getting it out and showing it and being like, she was like, this is my favorite whip. But I was like, I love that whip too. And I designed it. I'm not even stitching it. I need to get that back out.
That's funny.
This lives in this 805 stitcher bag, and I'm stitching it with this Duchess hoop. Look at those beautiful colors. I posted an Instagram picture yesterday because the colors are so cheery and sunny. Like, it's such a good summer vibe. This is my other Whipco call for this month. This is Cinderella by Mirabilia. So it needs 1,300 stitches. I only got about 170, so it'll be in our next one too. But I started the castle. Look.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so up close when you're stitching those look brown, 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 and boring, boring, boring. Yeah. In the camera from far away, beautiful gold turrets. Yeah. It's crazy what Mirabilia turrets have as far as like shading goes.
Yeah. That's funny.
So in Mirame, it got 500 stitches, but most of that was fixing the bush. And so it's so nice to be like, okay, now everything's in the right place and I can just go into the castle. And it lives in this Jasmine's custom bags, Cinderella bag that Jen was so kind and made us matching ones of this custom fabric or she let me pick out the fabric for Allison's birthday. Oh my God. I feel like I'm done. I'm not close to done. Okay. I have 3 more. Okay. So this is the Azure window. This is a model that I am working on, but okay, well, it's from Cross Stitch of Ice and Fire, so it's already out. So you can, if you love it, you can go get it. But I did enough of it to work out the blues to release the chart because I wanted it in that booklet. But I am going to stitch it. This is my House of the Dragon stitch. I did put in 300 stitches since the last time you saw it because there were times when my kids were being like chill. I was like, okay, don't move. Don't look them directly in the eye. I'm gonna stitch a little bit, and I got 300 stitches in. Nice. So tonight, we're filming this on Sunday. House of the Dragon starts tonight, so this will be out tonight. This is the filming location they used for Daenerys and Khal Drogo's wedding, and unfortunately it collapsed into the sea. So the real life filming location, the land exists, the window doesn't exist. This is in Malta. Actually, both of the ones we showed today are in Malta. That's really funny. And it lives in my Carrie Sews For You gnome bag. Another RC housewife. Ooh. This is Una Owl.
Oh.
So I have worked on it since our whip parade. Since the last time I showed it on Flosstube, it's gotten 700 stitches. In our whip parade, some of these stitches were already there, but I don't remember. I don't know the breakdown. But since the last time I showed it on Flosstube, I added the leaves and finished this flower, and then started this owl, and then got really far on the owl.
Yeah, you're really far on that.
Now, my original plan was to try to finish this one for the State Fair, but when I would finish with my whip call on coffee and eggs, I realized they both have the same number of stitches left. And so if I'm going to only finish one of those for the state fair, I'd rather put that one in. But I'm not that far. I don't have that much left on this guy. Like, I mean, I do. I'm not that far through the chart, but it doesn't, it feels close. But it's really a full coverage giant owl and a bunch of flowers. So it's, and a medallion. Like, I have a lot. It's got 4,000 stitches left. But that's how far down I was on espresso bean.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to definitely borrow from Blackbird. But look at these beautiful colors.
Very pretty.
I kitted this up in the called for. I would probably make some substitutions if I were to order this today, but I love these colors.
Yeah.
And old purple paint. I'm using this in another, I don't know what I have this color in another whip, but I don't remember which one. So I'm stitching that with this, this needs some washi tape, loose Duchess hoop. And on the called for, so it's Eureka fabric is the called for fabric by Fox the Rabbit, but I'm stitching it on 28 count and the called for is 40 count. This was a start for Elizabeth Savory's Una L. Birthday SAL, and she's stitching her on 40 count, and hers is very cute and little, and mine is going to be not cute, but it's okay. Because it's like, the littler the things are, the like more skill and whatever, and like, but I don't want 500 things this size on my wall, and I don't want a million pillows. So I'm kind of okay with things being big.
Yeah.
But the call for is 40 count.
Okay.
Okay, last one. I only got 50 stitches on it because a lot of what I did was back stitching that didn't count stitching. But this is the Herbalist Sal by World on a String by Dara. I got behind on it while I was model stitching, and I really wanted to get caught up. And I kept coming into this place where I was like, I had to go get my laptop out to download the email to send to myself because it's a mystery stitch along. So the new releases were sitting on my email and not on my iPad. And that was just enough where I would pull out something else instead. So last night I was like, you know what? I love this chart. I want to get caught up. So I went and downloaded it. And last night I got the row and the words for the 3 releases I missed. And then I started the color, and then it was like, okay, I got to go to bed. But doing that much, getting it out, getting it on my iPad, means that tomorrow I can just keep going. So I'm very happy. Sometimes just getting the whip out that you've been like feeling like you should be stitching on but aren't, just getting out and actually putting in some stitches is really helpful. So I love this whip. I think it's really cool. I think it's going to look really cool when it's like framed too. Yeah. But yeah, and I think my backstitch words are getting better. Like, this is definitely a chart where, like, if you don't love to backstitch, you're gonna learn how to backstitch. Yeah. I do backstitch weird. I backstitch 2-stranded for everything. I hate 1-stranded backstitch. My stitches are not delicate enough that they lay right when I do 1-stranded on backstitch. I know that's weird. So my writing's a little bit thicker, but I love it.
I think it looks great.
And I am gonna, like, one of the things I like to do when my kids are being chill is this is a good chart to just pick up and do it backstitch a box. Because the release for tomorrow goes here and it's not backstitch. So I have a lot there, I have a lot left to do, but I love it. It's a fun mystery stitch along. Good. That lives in this Amazon bag. My green Amazon bag with the completely disorganized bag. This is not like me. Guys,
bag of floss.
If I have a bag of floss on a whip, know that is a cry for help. And I have like 5 of these happening in my life right now. And it has this 12-inch princess hoop, which is my favorite size of hoop. And if anybody wants to like sell me some of these for a reasonable price, let me know. All right, that is all my whips. Yay! All right, what are your plans?
Okay. I don't think I have any specific plans.
Like, I will not make plans.
I do not like to make plans.
Stitch on Lady of the Flag.
My plans are to finish Lady of the Flag before my next anniversary. That is the only plan I have. The other SALs are start-alongs that I'm doing. I would love to keep up with Stitch for Pride 2024. Which I did, and I didn't even show it.
Oh yeah, go get it. Because you showed it on our whip parade and you forgot.
I forgot. I didn't even show it because I finished. I was caught up.
She caught up and then she showed it on the whip parade. And I don't remember if it came out during the first half or it's coming out during the next half. So I don't know if you guys have seen it yet.
No, I forgot because I've shown everything. I've shown everything. All right. Whip for pride. Whip for pride.
Whip for pride. Whip for pride.
Whip for pride, people. Okay. This
not iron, guys.
It's not iron. Oh man.
But it was iron since the last time you stitched on it, so it's just
okay.
It actually looks pretty good for not ironed. It's not like it was in a hoop.
Yeah, it was. Oh, it was ironed for the whip parade, and then got folded.
So not bad.
I finished this. This is June, and this is May. Is that right? Yeah, I think. This motif right here is May. And then this one at the bottom with the monkey is the Frida Kahlo June.
We went to a Frida Kahlo traveling exhibit.
Yeah.
Was I pregnant? Or when was it?
It was a couple years ago.
I came to a really nice museum in Tulsa called the Philbrook.
I wore that shirt yesterday. I have a shirt from there.
If you are ever going to the Silver Needle and you're like, I would also like to go to an amazing art museum, the Philbrook is really good.
Oh, it's wonderful. It's wonderful.
It's like we will drive, they have exhibits that make it worth driving 90 minutes up there.
Yeah.
And now we know we will also be stopping at the Silver Needle.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so this is great though because this leads into my plans.
Okay.
So did you see Dee's Flosstube?
Yes. I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy for you.
I want you guys to go watch that Flosstube, so I'm not going to give all the details of when and how.
Just go watch it.
Go watch it. But I will be starting this chart once I have acquired it legally soon.
You're going to start soon too?
And I have a whole bunch of Stitchy Box and Bestitch Me variegated silks. So I'm just going to pull variegated silks from Stash, and I have like a bunch of similar color fabric from Stash. So I'm going to be able to start like
that's awesome.
That day.
Are you going to try and catch up?
I was like, oh no, am I going to be able to just start in June or whatever? And then I realized I had seen this chart so many times. This has to be the center of the chart or close to it, right?
Probably.
So I bet I can start June if I start at the bottom and then keep going and slowly
do both.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Because I wouldn't mind stitching it June to June, but I have a feeling there'll be one next year because this.
Yeah.
So like a different theme, but another one next year. So I might not want to be doubled up next year. Yeah. But I'm not going to like stress about it because I want to do the learnings and stuff.
Yeah. I'm not stressing about keeping up, but it's so good. I want to stitch it. So I made it a point week before last, to do both of them to get all caught up. So
go watch Dee's video. I will link to them in the description.
And this is the called for fabric. But the flosses are not the called for flosses. I just chose
I think Cosmos. You can still get you could, as of a month or two ago, still get this fabric from Miss Lay Pages. Well, I don't know anymore.
If there's a new round.
They said originally that they would only be able to under certain circumstances, and I don't know. They haven't posted an update, so I don't know, and I haven't went and looked at their shop.
Okay.
But check out Miss Lay Pages if you want that exact fabric.
Yeah.
And we link to, in the description, we link to everybody. We list all the shops and everything. Pretty much if we mention it, I try to list it. If we miss something and you're really curious, just ask. Mm-hmm. This video is going to be longer than our whip parade.
Oh, my.
That's fine. Because I have a lot to talk about. Okay. Do you have any other plans?
Nope. Okay. All my SALs are start-alongs.
And we will be back again. We will film one more at the end of June. So our next Flosstube will come out July 1st, but we'll actually be filming at the end of June. So we don't need to talk about July. I'll talk about July a tiny bit, but okay. Starting now. So I'm turning 40 in July. My birthday SAL is the Hello 40 B-Day SAL, and it's just Stitch Anything by Hello from Liz Mathews. I'm going to be stitching on a whip that I have that's a Patreon whip and a start that I have that's a Patreon start, so those charts aren't available anymore. But any Liz Mathews is cool. You can do it on my birthday, which is July 16th, but literally any time in the month is cool. And we're going to start Summer Celebration.
This is random, but I found it out this morning. Did you know your due date was July 4th?
I did, yeah.
I did not know.
Why were you and Mom talking about my due date?
Because it's Father's Day, and I was like, the last time you weren't a father was almost 40 years ago. And she's like, yeah, because she was due on July 4th, and she didn't come.
Yeah, no, I was too excited. Which is why I did not mind them when the doctor said for both of my babies that they needed to be scheduled 2 weeks early.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, so sad. I had a friend that went like almost a month extra. Okay, so July 1st. So our next lesson will come out on July 1st. And it's a free pattern, so literally you could start it that day. But just if you want to actually start something with us that's available, Summer Celebration is a freebie from Liz Mathews' website. We talked about it in our free patterns video, and the link to download it is there. But we're going to start it on July 1st. It's a cute, tiny little freebie.
Yeah.
But any Liz Mathews whip at any point in the month, you can use the hashtag and tag me or Allison. It all counts. And it's all really fun and sweet, and we're excited.
Yay.
All right. I'm hosting a SAL called the hashtag 2 Kinds of Delicious SAL with Becca from Beck Stitches Everything. And basically we both realized that we had Golden Delicious / Dark Golden Delicious kitted up from the Artsy Housewife, or mostly kitted. And we just needed to start them. And I'd always, in my plans video, I planned to start it in August, but then I kind of took it off the table because I had this other stuff.
Yeah.
But then it's like, well, if we're going to start it, let's just start it.
Yeah.
And that's also why I think I need to get...
So you're starting 2?
I'm starting more. Yeah. So that's why I'm also thinking if I could finish copying eggs in August, it wouldn't be so bad.
Okay. That's probably a good idea.
But here's my problem. I have Dark Golden Delicious and Golden Delicious kitted up because I didn't realize when I bought them. I just kitted up a bunch of Artsy Housewife patterns all at the same time. And I didn't realize when I bought them that they're the same pattern in different colorways, basically. I thought the motifs were actually different. They're not. So I have kits for both. I don't mind taking the fabric and the floss out of one of those kits, and because I don't think I want to stitch it twice in different colors. But which one do I stitch? I don't know. Maybe I can persuade you over the next month to join. We'll see.
Maybe.
I'll work my... Anyway, so I have both. I need to figure out what I'm going to do. But then, okay, so during the whip parade, I mentioned I wasn't in the Artsy Housewives Patreon. And then I was kind of like editing the video, and I was like, this is so dumb. Why am I not in her Patreon? Because I'm in Hello from Liz Mathews Patreon, and I love it. And I'm in the Giddy Stitchers Ko-Fi, which I really like. She does a lot of like cool background, like behind like extra videos and stuff. But I'm like, part of me was like, I don't want extra Artsy Housewife patterns. Like I already have so many. Like I have so many. But the part of me was like, no, I do. And I knew she was going to start a stitch along in July. Because she mentioned that on her Flosstube. I was like, no, I do think I want to go ahead and join it, like as an identity, thinking like, why am I not in this?
Sure.
So I joined it, and I downloaded all of the June patterns, because her Ko-Fi or her Patreon is like Liz Mathews. It runs the 15th to the 15th. So because I joined it like the 7th or something, I got all of the June patterns, or the May patterns. I got the May patterns, which are really beautiful. And her tier 4, you get 3 patterns. So per pattern, it's like buying 1 pattern out of her Etsy store. Mm-hmm. So if you stitch one of them from each month, like that's basically fine. Mm-hmm. But I knew she had the SAL coming. Then I watched the Roxy Flossco, Evertote, Flosstube, and they were talking about how good the SAL was going to be. And I was like, well, I'm in it. I don't know if I'm going to do the SAL, but I'm excited about it. Did you see the pattern she dropped yesterday?
No.
Oh, so
show me.
This could have been haul, but I'll just show you. She dropped the pattern yesterday, and it is magnificent.
I did see that, and you had liked it, and I was like, no, that's my style.
It's a stitch along, so if it's $18, it's $18 you get the pattern, but if you... And you can just stitch it at your own pace. But the stitch along, like the group, like starts July 1st.
I don't need another stitch
You don't need another stitch along. But it's so...
It's
so Hamlet coded. I don't know if a dream within a dream... I'm showing you guys. I don't know if a dream within a dream, where that comes from. It's giving Hamlet vibes. Maybe it comes from something else. If it does, I'll like look it up. But...
I love it.
And it's Halloween, but it's not. It's going to be released next year.
Yeah, I'll just wait.
Yeah. So joining the Artsy Housewife Patreon was the right move for me.
Obviously.
And at some point, you guys might be like, well, here's my basket of Artsy Housewife whips. Here's my basket of Mirabilia whips. And that's just who I am. Mm-hmm. Like, I was thinking, like, what 5 designers define my style the most? Mirabilia, Artsy Housewife, Liz Mathews, Al Forrest. And if you didn't count, like, myself.
I count yourself.
Okay, then myself.
There you go.
So, I'm very excited. I'm starting that on July 1st. I'm gonna do DMC on a lot of these starts.
Yeah.
If I don't already have it kitted up, I'm gonna do DMC because DMC is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yes, I'll lose out on some of the variation, and variation is beautiful. But if I'm gonna be a person with 60 to 500 whips, they can't all be in fancy floss. I need to convert to being a master set person.
Yeah.
Who is just pulling out the DMC.
I do want to be a master set.
A la Stitch and Mommy.
Yeah. So,
because
that's a good idea.
So, if I already have the fabric for it, and if all I'm doing is buying DMC that will end up in a master set, as long as I'm checking to make sure I'm not buying duplicates.
Already have it, yeah.
Then, and I already have the pattern because I'm already in it, then why not just start it? So.
Do it.
I may have to buy more plastic Amazon project bags. So the dragon stitching, getting caught up on WIPCO, starting Stitch for Pride, starting Summer Quaker on the summer solstice, starting Giant Butterflies by the Artsy Housewife on June 30th. These are things I've already talked about. Something I have not talked about. I did mention this to you, but
what?
So Katie the Novel Stitcher is hosting I wrote it down, but she's hosting a stitch along. I think it's called like Stitch a Garden. It's garden themed. And I have an Artsy Housewife Summer Solstice that is a garden theme. But I was
so thought you were going to say Liz Mathews.
No.
Okay.
It's bigger than that.
Okay.
I'm going to start Come to the Garden by Teresa Kogut.
I don't remember what that one looks like.
It's the one I sent to you literally like 3 days ago when you said you didn't know what it looked like, and I said, here you go.
Well, you won't show me.
No, I'm looking it up.
I'm looking it up. Oh, yes. Okay,
Yeah.
yes. I remember now.
That's from our text messages.
Well, I sent you many after that.
Yeah, we talked.
We
talked most days. So I have been thinking about Come to the Garden, and now that I've fully embraced Process Stitcherland, and I know it will not get finished for 20 years, and I'm gonna do it on 40 count because
you're doing it on 40 count?
Because I want to do it on navy blue, and I have a piece of navy blue 40 count. I do it on blue. Miriam from Mermaid Crafts is doing hers on blue. And I'm obsessed. And Elizabeth Saber has been stitching hers and and it's so good. And then seeing Miriam's on blue, I'm like, I put it in my cart the first time I saw hers. Mm-hmm. And because it was like a totally different chart on blue. She's doing hers in Sulky though. I'm going to do mine in the DMC, the call for DMC, and just swap out where it doesn't work. I'm not going to do like a full, because what I love about the chart are the reds and they'll pop on the blue. And if I have to switch something else out, I will.
Yeah.
But
I probably have some navy Ada if you want.
I want to do it on 40 count.
Oh my god.
It's gonna take a long time.
Okay.
I'm okay with it.
Okay.
Because I put it in my cart and I took it out. Put it in my cart and I took it out. For months, I had it Miriam's post
I'm saying you should do it. I'm saying you'll finish it quicker if you picked like a 32.
I never need to finish it. Okay. I just need to stitch on it. I'm gonna be joining Katie's. That's also on the summer solstice. So I have 2 summer solstice starts that are both like pretty big projects, but you know, whatever. And yeah, so
that's a lot of start.
I'm gonna start a lot of things, and I'm okay with it.
Things.
So Flosstube University is the part of the video where we talk about learning about cross stitch on YouTube. We put out videos on Thursdays that are mini lessons, and then during our Flosstubes, we like to share other resources we found that are good and shout people out, so you can go check them out. All right, who do you have?
Okay, I already told them to you because I won't remember.
Write them down.
Yes.
She literally was like, write these down.
Yes.
So Allison dyed her fabric.
I dyed my own fabric.
And it was beautiful. You guys saw it already. Just a bunch of different ones to like learn like kind of the world of dyeing. And then there was one that she found that she followed step by step.
Yeah.
So we didn't write down everyone, but some of the ones that she, that you could go check out. Lori D, Calm Creations, and Cross My Stitches were all really helpful in learning about like the world of dyeing. And then when you actually did dye, you followed step by step. I can't believe I'm reporting this. Like you followed step by step how to jar dye by 8-bit stitches.
Yes.
Okay.
And I picked that one because it made sense in my head, and I had I didn't have a jar, a big glass jar, but in my head I was thinking, oh, I have a big glass vase that can kind of act the same way, and then I'll get a lid for it, and I thought, okay, this is genius. I'll do this one. I broke my vase. First thing I did, broke my vase. Good thing I did not follow all the instructions as I should. You always put something down so that you don't spill dye all over your countertops. But Magic Eraser gets Rit dye out of fake countertops. So
who knew?
That's good to know. See, I'm learning things all the time. So I broke the vase. It still worked. I was able to just pour it.
The fabric is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Forget that vase.
I was able to pour it into a plastic container.
Was that a flower store vase?
Okay, well, we're not going to say this, but...
Okay, so we're cutting this entire story out.
Whole thing.
Gotcha.
All right.
Dark family secrets.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, so I used a tutorial. It worked. It's beautiful.
You got great results.
The one thing I did, what wasn't in the instructions, is I did the dye fixer instead of like the salt and vinegar or whatever. You can just buy a bottle of Rit dye fixer, and it was like use half per 1 pound of fabric. And the only thing I'm dyeing is this, and I have no idea how much this weighs, but not very much. So, but for good measure, I use the whole bottle. This is gonna be color fast.
This is not a pound of fabric. Let me just double that.
Well, I need it to be color fast because I spill.
Yeah, you do. And you're stitching DMC with a ecru, so did you wash it afterwards?
Yes, okay. Over and over again. It came out
and
clean.
It's still the perfect color. Was it a lot darker than this when it first was done?
So when I first did it, it was more OU red, and so then I added a little bit more yellow and did the whole thing over again. And it really runs beautiful. Clean when you when you wash it. So that turned out great. Learned a lot of things. And I really enjoyed it, so I'm going to do it more.
I wrote down a few. Okay, so the Sharky Stitcher had a really great chatelaine overview, and I'm starting to chatelaine with Rachel from Looking Floss.
You are not.
We're doing it in DMC, a whole DMC conversion. But I am doing it. Okay. So Sharky Stitcher and Kitschy Whips, if you want to start a chatelaine, go check out both of the channels. I'll link to both of them actually. Kitschy Whips' video is a little bit older. We've mentioned it before, but I'm going to be watching it again. But because I'm going to do it in DMC, I don't need to do all of the like heavy kitting and stuff. I'm just going to do it in DMC. Okay. Stitching in My Pajamas. She is half of my sister's sampler, the design company. She also works for Gloriana Silk. And she has a collection of antique samplers behind her when she films. She just filmed a video, like a regular Flosstube update, really good. But she talked about when she frames her pieces, why she started pinning them because of the damage she sees to laced pieces when she's looking at historic samplers. Debate on whether like I need to worry about people seeing my stitching in 200 years and thinking that, you know, Allison and I have had a, anyway, we won't we'll have that fight. Basically, it was interesting. And if you're like trying to decide between learning how to lace and learning how to frame or how to pin, I can lace, but I've never laced anything that wasn't full coverage. So I've never laced anything where I had to like worry about borders too much. So, it was really good. So I'll link to that. And then whip parade season, if you watched our whip parade and you're like, I want more whip parades. Jen's Fiberweb has a great one. Lucky Chance Stitcher has a great one. Catherine the Needleberry Stitcher just put out a kit parade that I haven't watched yet. It's 2.5 hours. She's a Dimensions kit collector. I cannot wait to see what she has kitted up. So there's lots of good out there. That's just what I watched or I saw, and there's way more than that. And I watched more than that too. That's just like when I was making my notes, what I could remember. All right, Stitchy Kindness.
Oh, okay. I have
besides being lit, my unicorn pattern.
Yeah.
We had some really generous Stitchy Kindness this week, so you go first.
Okay. I had Stitchy Kindness from my good friend Fanny, and she stitched this for me. I believe it's a Lizzie Kate Cinderella.
It's so cute.
But like, how adorably perfect is that?
Okay,
so thank you, Fanny.
Cinderella
so
is
much.
proof a new pair of shoes can change your life. That's so cute. And she finished it. And the little
I
hanger.
know, isn't it gorgeous? I have to take it to work.
Oh, that's gonna be fun.
I know. I'm afraid if I leave it here, my cat will.
That's
Get
accurate.
to it.
Accurate. They will.
And it'll be so pretty to look at. And I take her to work anyway.
And when you get angry at work, you'll be like, I have friends.
I do.
I don't have to. My life isn't just this job.
Yeah. And she made me this bag that perfectly matches my curtains and perfectly matches the Fruits of Plenty with.
Because she's who you're doing the SAL
She's
with.
the person I'm doing the SAL with, yeah.
And this is not the first bag she sent you. She's so generous.
I know, it's so perfect. But like, this is what she made her bag out of with this trim. So they're like perfect opposites. It's so great.
That's so
She's
sweet.
so wonderful. Thank you, Fanny. Okay. And I've said this 3 times, I'm sure, but Soul Stitchers, watch the Soul Stitchers. They're so cool. They're 2 French women, but they do their Flosstube in English, so thank you for that because I enjoy it so much.
We got some more Stitchy Kindness, but you have not even seen yours yet.
No.
So Kat from Wicked's Cat Stitch makes needle minders. And she sent us, because she knew we were both doing Strawberry Moon. So because I'm not stitching on Strawberry Fields Forever, but Come to the Garden has strawberries in it. So that's going to be both my garden stitch and my strawberry. So she made these sweet strawberry needle minders.
They're so cute.
And she has a shop on Etsy called Wicked Wish Crafts. And she has, I won't show the note on the back, but she's been making needle minders for her friends, but she also made some to sell, but she's not going to be like permanently making them to sell because she's not like a needle minder maker. She does have some crochet, I think a crochet octopus project that is her like main Etsy jam. But anyway, the needle minders are so cute, but she also has some cool like wicked Halloween-y spooky ones. So if you're interested in like a one-time available like needle minder, go check out Wicked Wish Crafts, and I will also link it in the Etsy shop. Because I asked her, I was like, do you want me to mention that you're selling some? She's like, yeah, but I'm not selling them for that long. So like, if you're seeing this in 10 years, don't bother. But if you're seeing it like now, yeah, go check them out. And a lot of them are like one of a kind. So I told you what was coming, but I did not tell you it was here, and I didn't tell you what it was.
Oh, well. What is it?
So, okay.
Oh.
So I told you guys too, when at the end of Mirror May, that one of my mirror whips, I was doing a border in a vintage DMC. And a DMC where the new 640 and the old 640 were like clearly not the same color.
Yeah.
And Bonnie from Stitched Lit, which I always call her channel Stitch Ed Lit in my head, but it's Stitched Lit. Makes more sense because she
That makes sense.
So I love her floss tube. She's also stitching, well, I don't even know if I can say also. She is stitching Village of Hawk Run Hollow, and I have started Village of, But anyway, we were joking about we need to make a SAL for it because there's no SAL for it, and maybe that would inspire us to keep going. But she's a lot farther than me because everyone is. Anyone.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she was like, well, I have some old 640. I'll send it to you. I was like, okay, cool. Like, I offered to pay for it, but it's like, old DMC. So when she said no, I was like, oh, it's going to cost her like $1 to send it. So I'm not going to like feel too bad about it. But then she knows we like old patterns and stuff. And so she sent a bunch of stuff. Most of it is thrifted. And she told us we could look through it and decide what we wanted. She sent a really sweet note. She said we could decide what we wanted and decide what we want to pass. Ooh. I'm stitching that, but you can also stitch it if you want one. So this is the prize of the bunch, is this 4 Seasons from Jardin Privé that has the Zweigart Light Mocha in the back. Oh. But I have my Alyosha's alphabet is on this, and I will have a cut of it left over that's at least.
It's on.
But also you wouldn't. Oh yeah. So we can both stitch the pattern, but I probably will use this. I'm gonna wash the fabric because
I have another Jordan Privé I would like to stitch first. But yes, that is
pretty is
so beautiful.
And then so some of these we're definitely be giving away, and some of these we'll be keeping. But Wild Snowman from Cherrywood Designs, which is not one a company I'd even heard of. Okay, I'll save the magazines for last because the magazines are great. Okay, this like banner year, which are really fun. So she sent us the I Love OSU because she thought it would be your college, but It's actually, they have a whole alphabet, so you can make any one.
That's awesome.
But and then I told her, well, our dad went to OSU for Oklahoma State, and they probably mean Ohio State here, but it actually has the whole alphabet on the back that you can change it to anything. But I was like, I too think we should stitch that for mom and dad.
We should totally stitch that.
So we definitely can. And then there's some other like cute ones.
Oh,
look at that little witch. Oh wow! And looking at the church, they're bigger. On here, you think they're small, but they're actually not small.
Yeah.
They're the entire size of a page, so those are very cool. This old Good Old Days book with like some old scenes, which is very cute. Okay, these are cool. Colorado cross stitcher, like little smalls. How cute are those? And then this is Bobby G Designs mini stitches. Ho ho ho.
Oh,
and the beard is all those buttons, which you could do or not do. My son really wants me to stitch him something from this.
That's hilarious.
Some of the designs are actually like modern looking, and some look so 80s. It's hilarious.
Like those balloons? Oh yeah.
And then actually this cross stitch magazine, I don't love, like, you know, old cross stitch magazines. It's like you're gonna love some and not love some, but look at that. Look how cute that is.
Oh yeah. Oh.
So I've already earmarked patterns in here that are like, this one, there's nothing in here that I really want to stitch, but I'm obsessed with the ads in it.
Oh yeah, I love the ads in them.
Like ads and old cross, if you ever like, yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyway, thank you so much. It's so sweet. We will go through and figure out what we're each going to keep and what we're going to give on. But thank you for saving my Mirabilia. And also, this is super cool.
Yeah.
All right. So that is Stitchy Kindness.
Yay.
Do you have anything? No, you're good.
Nope.
And I'm not going to, I'll share you the note after we're done, but I'm not going to read the note.
Okay.
But that's all. Okay. So now, haul. So all we have left, I know this video is a little long. I'm not sure where we're going to be after editing. You would think after Whip Parade we wouldn't have that much to say.
You would think that.
All right, so we have haul. We announced last time's giveaway, and we have a cool giveaway this time. All right, haul.
Okay. All right, I do have haul.
Oh, I knew about this. I ordered it. I ordered it. I just didn't see it because you picked it up.
This is a Mill Hill, and I said I would never do a Mill Hill ever again.
On perforated paper?
I said none at all.
Oh.
But I
because
changed
of
my
the
mind
floss?
because, yeah. So, because it didn't come with enough floss, if you messed it up, you couldn't redo it. It's impossible to stitch on perforated paper unless you've been doing it for a long time.
This is not a pro perforated paper.
No.
This is not a safe space for perforated paper.
So it will not be going on perforated paper, but I think it would be
really
a very
pretty.
cute ornament on Ada.
It looks very cool.
I'm very excited. So, one more Cinderella. I want to say Christmas because those are my things: Christmas and Cinderella.
Yep.
And that's
Okay.
all I got.
So I have a few pieces of haul. I have a little bit that's not vintage and thrifted, but then I'm going to show you my vintage thrift store finds. But first is this piece of like sun linen Meadow Rue that I ordered in.
Ooh.
I ordered it in January. I ordered it 6 months ago. Took 6 months to come in.
Wow.
But look how pretty it is.
It's really pretty.
It's kind of got like undertones of purple almost.
Very pretty.
So it is 32 count. It's really pretty.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what I'd do with it, but when they said like, hey, this thing you ordered 6 months ago is actually here. Do you want it? I was like, yeah, I want it. Okay. So the rest of my finds are all vintagey or thrifted. So some of them are vintage, like old, and some of them are only thrifted, but they're newer things. But I know a few people have talked to me about they bought like vintage hoops because I bought them, or they're like, we'd love to have them, but the price is crazy. This bundle of 3, so it was these 2 plus one that's like 7, 6, and a 5-inch all went up.
Mm-hmm.
And it was $58 total for all 3. So they were less than $20 a piece.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, so basically I have to. But I got the email and I was like, well, I'm not going to. and I checked a few hours later, it was still up.
Yeah.
Because they like email everyone who's, and I was like, people are not buying, like, do they think that it's $60 for, or it was like listed at $50 for 3, plus like shipping and stuff. Like, do they think it's like for 1, and so, but it's really for 3? Now I looked closer, and each one of them has like places where they're wonky. So this one is, you know, is gonna need washi tape to cover that, but that's not anything, right?
Yeah.
And this one has this.
Yeah.
But I'll just replace that with washi tape. And then the one I'm doing Costa Cola on, I already took off the tape that was on that and put washi tape on it, and it's working perfectly. So I don't know why people didn't jump on them, but so the last 4 I bought, these were less than $20 each. So if I wanted to sell them and make my money, like let's say I was like, I don't want these anymore, they're not gonna lose their value.
Yeah.
And then that one I got through the store was $5. So even though I'm like trying not to like spend crazy money on them, like if I see one that's a really good deal and I let other people and they still don't, it's like, okay, well, I have to. And like, you know, it's not that we want the prices to go up because people want them. It's more just that like, if you see one in a thrift store, save it. Like, don't let these go in. If your grandmother passes away, don't think these old hoops are worthless. I love stitching them, and a lot of people do. They hold it really tight, but it's not really about like, because a modern hoop and these are the same. For me, it's about the experience, but also like some of these are 100 or more years old, right? Like they have so much history and stitching and lore in them. So if someone you know is getting rid of one, or if you see one at a garage sale and it's way under price, snap it up. And then if you don't want it, sell it at a reasonable price. But I was really excited about those. And then, oh, okay. So now on to my thrift store haul. So I'm gonna save the very best thing for last, which is something I found at a local vintage store. But yesterday I went to a Goodwill and I got this for $4.
Wow.
So I already looked, like you can pop the glass out and totally put a piece of stitching in there, and it's 4x6, so I can put one of my pieces in there.
Yeah.
So I was thinking I could put Azure Window in there when I'm finished.
Oh yeah.
Or I could also put anything in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it needs to be cleaned up, but it was $4.
Yeah. That's
And
beautiful.
that will be a lot cheaper than getting it framed somewhere.
Yeah.
Then this bag was $4, and I thought this would be such a cute little project bag.
That's cute.
It says, save the drama for your llama.
Oh.
So it's just an old cosmetic bag, but
Yeah.
be a perfect little project bag. And then, do you remember that frame I used for Yellow Submarine? I basically had to. Like,
What?
yeah, because these were apparently like craftswear frames,
Oh.
but they look so good beat up.
Yeah.
And so I just want frames with character, which is why I like buying thrifted frames.
Yeah.
So for $2.99, it's like I can have something that I don't know what'll go in it, but it'll match.
Yeah. Cute.
I have one more thrift find before I show you my favorite thing I've ever I don't know.
She did show me that. It's pretty cool.
Okay, so this was $3, but it was a half off. So this frame, this 8x10 frame, was $1.50.
Oh, I like
and it's
that.
got like, I just want frames with character and detail.
Yeah.
And this was originally, an art piece that was for sale at Ross for $14. Then someone bought it for $7. That was in Goodwill for $3, and then I bought it for $1.50. But I will be taking that out. So,
But that's a good brand.
for $1.50, I was like, something will go in here someday. And I don't know, maybe a month or two ago, I don't know when, I posted on my Instagram account that I saw this thing in a vintage store. Not a thrift store, so it's a vintage store where people have like booths, but also the items are more carefully curated. There are things people know that have some buying power, like some value. And also like, they're not like cheap. It's not like, you know, $7 on sale for half off. It's like, they're curated vintage finds. But I found this thing and it was on the wall and I posted it, like how cool it was. And enough people messaged me that they would want it, or like if they saw it, they'd feel so lucky to buy it, or they assumed I'd bought it and I hadn't bought it. And I was like, so I kept thinking about it, but it was at a vintage store. So I knew it wasn't like I had to make a decision that day.
Yeah.
And I also knew like, okay, if somebody buys it, they're going to take care of it. Cause it's not like $5. But I was in there, on Friday, and it was still on the wall, and I asked the guy who owns the store how much it was, and he told me it was $57, and I was like, okay, well, like, I was like, it is totally worth that much money. I just can't pay that much. And he was like, oh, well, how much do you want to pay? And I was like, 40? Like, you know, that's still respectable, but like, you know, and it's worth, it's not, it's
hard
worth,
to tell how much it's worth.
It's hard. It doesn't have like a value, like, but you know, I think we would all agree that like, we would hope it would be worth more than 57 even, but I just wasn't going to pay more than, anyway. So he was like, I was like, do you need to message the owner of the booth and see if that's cool? And he's like, I'm going to make an executive decision. We're deal done. So that means I don't know how many years it was up on the wall. And I told him a little bit about what it was. So this is the Quilt Maker by Lavender and Lace. I thought this was a like a break in the glass, but it's not. It's actually like where there's a straight stitch where the thread is going into the quilt. But it's stitched on Rustico Ada, 14 or 16 count probably. No way to, not a real way to know. It's not signed except in the back it says winter 9495 MS. So if you're an Oklahoma stitcher and you happen to know who would have written that on the back of the frame, I would love to know more about it. But I mean, I haven't shown my husband yet. He doesn't know this is coming to live at our house yet. But I think we're about to move, and when we move, I'm gonna set up a real stitching like craft area. We haven't found where we're moving, so we don't know if I'm gonna have like an office, which I really need, or if it's just gonna be like in a space in the house. But this will be above my stitching stuff. So I'm so thank you guys to everyone who said like, oh, I can't believe you didn't buy it or go buy it or whatever. Like I did, I saved it. And I think $40 is a great price. Like I don't think you can find something this like professionally framed for $40.
Oh, it would cost more than that to get it framed.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I saved it.
Yay.
And I'm really excited about it. And now I don't have to ever think about stitching her. I do think I have this pattern. I have either this pattern or something very similar. I have a few Lavender and Lace patterns saved to do maybe one day, but I love it.
I like it too.
All right, so giveaway. The winner of our giveaway last week was for the blue collector. It's not called that, but it was a blue collector's heart from Hands On Design. It was donated by Donna, and the winner is in my phone. No, the winner is Linda Hankey. So congratulations. DM me on Instagram. My Instagram handle's here with your address where I can send it. And if you don't have Instagram, just comment on this video. I don't have Instagram from that account, and I will know exactly what you mean, and we'll figure out a different way. And then today's giveaway is exciting. So Amity from Hathaway Stitchers has designs on Etsy under Boomerang Stitches. I'm stitching Great White Santa, that Santa Claus, or the shark, the Christmas
Santa
shark.
Claus.
Yeah. She released 2 new patterns this week, and we decided, so when she announced her shop, I was like, if you ever want me to do a giveaway, I can give away one of yours, you can give away one of mine. But we didn't know she was like gonna become like the most popular designer ever. And so it's kind of crazy. It's like, you know, like that was just a few months ago, and she's already like achieved so much. So she released her Schitt's Creek sampler, and we thought it'd be fun that since she released a pattern about a show and I released a booklet about a show, she's gonna give away one of ours on their next one, which they haven't recorded yet. And so she's gonna give away one of our booklets. And Jen's Fiberweb and Somi Sarah are all 3 giving away a copy of Cross Stitch of Ice and Fire. So if you really want to win one, go follow those 3 channels. And Somi Sarah and Jen's Fiberweb, our videos are already out to sign up for on, but still open as of when this video comes out. And then the Hathaway Stitchers will be whenever they film next. But anyway, so we're gonna give away her Schitt's Creek sampler, which you can see here, and it's so cool. It's very big.
Cool.
So if you don't want to commit to 53,000 stitches of Schitt's Creek, you can just do parts of it, which I think is really cool too, because it's so modular.
Yeah.
You can either do the whole thing or you can pick out part of it. But if you want to win that pattern, don't use the word giveaway or when you need to be 18, subscribe to this channel. It'd be cool if you subscribe to the Hathaway Stitchers too, and not required because I can't check it, but it'd be cool if you did. And leave a comment, and in your comment use the word ROSE, R-O-S-E. And we will announce the winner for that on our next Flosstube. So you made it to this point in the video. Leave a red heart for Allison's beautiful red dyed fabric.
Aww,
and some people might accidentally leave a red heart because it's such a common one, but we'll know what it means. That'll be our secret language that you made it to this point in the video. If you're not subscribed, we'd love to have you. Our next extra is the second half of our whip parade. You do not have to watch the first half for that video to make sense, but if you haven't watched the first half of our whip parade, go check that out. And we're dropping tutorials on Thursdays. And thank you so much.
If you watched it, this was a long one. Congratulations.
Bye. Longer than a whip parade. Bye.
Bye.